the war room flicker, watch the vision take hold, turning late round flyers into Detroit gold. He's the master of the board, the dealer of the deck, putting every expert opinion in check. Put every expert opinion in check. He doesn't follow trends, he creates the hook. Quiet in the room, let Brad cook. To the trenches we swear, where the dirty work's done, where the game isn't played, it's physically won. I promise to roar till my vocal cords fray, to believe in the homes and the Brad chosen way. We don't want the flash, we don't want the glitz, just the hunters who thrive in the heart of the grit. Liberty from the cellar, and justice for the years of pain. No more same old lions, just the kings of the northern reign. I pledge my allegiance, my heart and my roar, to the team that we love and the team we adore. With kneecaps for breakfast and victory in sight, we're the Detroit Lions and we're winning tonight.
Living rent-free. What's happening, Detroit Lions fans? Man, it is Friday. It is the end of July, and August is upon us tomorrow and on Sunday. We'll all be back together again. Those of you that are Lions loyal members will be at practice on Sunday morning, I think it is, or Sunday afternoon. I don't remember. Maybe it's afternoon. Either way, I'm excited about getting there, and hopefully Ali McNeil will be back at practice. Hopefully Jimmy Rolder will be back at practice. I have not looked at any other updates in the last couple of hours, so I haven't seen if there's any new developments, but we will. We'll double check. As you guys have heard today already, I'm sure, and I apologize, I wasn't able to get anything out today. I just got stuck getting a lot done here. I really wanted to go live. Had everything set up to do the report on Lee McNeil and Jimmy Rolder shortly after practice ended. I mean, right around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then I just got steamrolled with a bunch of stuff to do, and I couldn't get it done. But it is what it is. Anyway, it's not where we want to be, right? Having injuries like that. It's not where you want to be this early in camp, especially to one of your stars. I mean, Jimmy Rolder, to a lesser degree, look, I think he's going to be a fantastic special teamer, and we'll see where he develops otherwise, but I'm less worried about losing him versus losing Ali McNeil. Ali McNeil is absolutely a big part of this defense. I don't care what anybody else says about him. He's absolutely a big part and a needed part of this defensive line. Without Ali McNeil, a lot changes. A lot changes. I know a lot of people don't give him a ton of credit, but you know, coming off of an injury that he had last year and still playing as well as he did in spurts, and then suffering another injury, it wasn't a good year to come back, right? It just wasn't a good year to come back. And this year, early in camp, at least for the first couple of days, it was sounding like Ali McNeil was back to his old self and possibly better. But again, I'll throw the caution into the wind. I'll throw the red flag up. It's just spiders, right? There's no pads. There's no contact. Yes, it's exciting to talk about our Lions and how they're doing, how they're performing early in camp. But quite honestly, it's kind of worthless, right? It's kind of worthless right now. Pads got to get on. We got to see the guys with pads on. Without the pads, none of it really matters. I mean, there's certain things that you can take away with, you know, how they're running, how they're looking, how fluid they are, communication, spacing, you know, and everything else schematically that, you know, is functioning well, that they're not making mistakes. Those are the types of things that you're going to see within the first few days. Once the pads comes on, then at that point you can start to figure out who's doing what, right? And that performance will take either a couple levels up, you know, in their performance, or it could get knocked back a little bit. Guys that were performing extremely well, let's say JMO, performing extremely well, that could change once the pads come on and players are able to actually put their hands on you and bump you off the line, right, and hit you. So we'll pay attention to all those storylines. There's a lot of storylines. There's a ton of points again from today that we'll try to get into all of them. It's another laundry list. And I think I got the wrong one up. Hold on. I was getting caught up today. Oh, by the way, my name is Will Rock, host of Rock Down Detroit Lions, founder of Detroit Football Journal, Detroit Football, or DFJ Sports, Rock Down Detroit Lions, Rock Down Podcast Network, Rock Down Cancer Foundation, and this is your home for all of it. Please check us out on Facebook, Twitter, giving away Madden 27 games every week in August, a total of 5, because we're doing 2 on YouTube and then 1 on each of the Twitters and then 1 on the Facebook channel. It started the new Twitter and a new Facebook. My old Facebook's still out there, Rock Down Detroit Lions. You can still follow it. You can still, subscribe to it, whatever you want to do. I will hopefully get it back at some point. It's just taken a little bit from Facebook to get this thing worked out. Quite honestly, they don't even know what happened. They don't even know why my main page went away. All of their security measures failed, apparently. So anyway, let me make sure I got the right one in here. So I was getting everything caught up. I was putting out day 1 and day 2. And if you've been here through day 1 and day 2, I've gone through 30 to 38 points in each practice of things that I've sourced, conversations that I've had. I didn't have the 6 p.m. today. I actually had a 3 p.m. today, and it went through a lot of things that they were talking about that happened in practice today. So we get a lot of good information. And we try to turn that information, obviously, over to the fans each and every day, break it all down. Next week, by the way, today at 4 o'clock, I don't normally go on at 4, but I do pop-ups. Sometimes I pop up. It was not supposed to be scheduled. It was supposed to be unlisted. I don't know how in the world it was scheduled for 4 o'clock. But in the future, there might be some days that I do 4 p.m. or 4:30 or 5 or whatever. It just depends on the coverage and what's happening. So make sure you guys have notifications turned on so that when we do go live, the breaking news is going to start happening as of tomorrow. Obviously not on Sunday because I'll be there. But breaking news is going to start happening. I've got it all set up again. I've got the automation set so we can get it rolling. Want to make sure that we can get you all the information to your or about your lines to you as quickly as possible. I do have the wrong one in here. Anyway, give me just a second here. I'll get the right one loaded up in here in just a minute. Who do we have? Who do we have in the house today? We got Sunburst, Edge, Major, Trace. My other channel is live. Which other channel? What are we talking about? Only one of my channels is live. Uh-oh. How about now? I could have sworn I hit start all. They should be rolling now. Hey, if you're just joining on Facebook and Twitter and the other YouTube channel, Detroit Lions Today, appreciate you guys joining us for tonight's breakdown of what happened in day 3. Appreciate you guys taking care of me in the chat there. I did that the other day, and I went like an hour and then finally turned it on. It's not good, but whatever. And I'm doing it on the channels that don't really have any production, don't really have any followers or anything like that. We're just trying to build it back up and start feeding it. I don't know why I ever stopped feeding it. I shouldn't have, but I did. My goodness. 1 second here. So anyway, how you guys all doing today? Friday night, what you doing for the weekend? How many of you guys are going to the Lions Loyal We're Back Together Again practice on Sunday? How many guys are season ticket holders? Put your hand up. I'll be there. Maybe we do. Maybe we'll meet up at some point. If I see you, just flag me down. If I don't hear you, it's because I'm like half deaf in my right ear, and it's not by purpose. So come flag me down. If I walk past you, it's not by purpose. But usually I go sit up in the middle, and then I'll walk around to the other side to make sure I get all points of access. Like I said, this past week, I didn't apply for the Lions credential. I've got the NFL credential. We've done a couple of events. I just asked Eric the other day if he wants to go to Australia and do the Australian game. I could go do that one. I got credentials for that one. And I don't know if I can pull that one off. I really don't know if I can pull that one off. But that would be really fun, right? To go to Australia and just do a totally different game. It's not even your team. And I think that'd be great. It'd be a great experience. But I'm working on getting the credential for Germany. I haven't seen it pop up yet. I'm not sure when it's going to pop up. Maybe I missed the deadline already, which last year I missed some deadlines too, which is fine. It is what it is. But next year I'll be applied and get into the lines. If I have to have an apartment for 3 weeks or a month or rent a Verbo over in Detroit, then I'll do that. But commuting 3 hours each way is just really tough. And so I would have to stay over there for like a month, at least all the days that they're there. And then, of course, Megan's got to be okay with that. I think she would be. So it's not that big a deal, I guess. But next year I'm going to do it. I think next year we're going to go all in, and we're going to make it happen so we can be on the field. But I do bring you guys a lot of information that when we're at practice, every practice I go to, I give you guys a ton of information. And we have a leg up this year with some new devices that will give us some more information while we're at practice that I'll be able to give to you when I'm done, like when I get back. Anyway, let me get into the open your read for tonight. Day three. We had a lot of good stories and a lot of bad stories, or a few bad stories, right? Get it up. Come on, get up there. There you go. All right, I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth here because I don't have it open and I don't know what happened to it, but I got my other one here, and we'll use the reserve. We're going to the depth chart. All right, we're going to the depth chart. Let's get right into it. Detroit Lions third training camp today on July 31st. It was a heavy practice, right? But practice produced some clear evidence for Jamison Williams. He's really developing beyond his reputation as just that pure vertical threat. It's the same thing we've been talking about for the last couple of days. How his development, his route running, his strength, and everything that he's been working on in the offseason, it's starting to come together. Now, again, just like I said in the beginning of this, it's just spiders, right? There's no pads. So I'm going to take it with a large grain of salt until I see it in pads, which will be Sunday, I believe. And at that point, we'll see how he's doing. And he may excel. He may take it to that next level.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jahmyr Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap back, looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Nice job.
Mariota's got it back. Pressure comes. He's hit. Slips out of it. Rolling to his right. Now he's going down. Brian Branch got him. Sack for the Lions. Snap taken by Mariota, wants to throw it, gonna get hit, gonna get sacked,
Yes,
take it
sir.
down. Brian Branch got him second time today.
Nice job.
Hands it to Gibbs, running right, runs through a tackle, gets down to the 10, Gibbs to the 5, still fighting, down to the 2, down to the 1, to the end zone!
Yes.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! He did not quit!
Nice job.
Off to throw again, does, middle, J-Mo angling to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions! J-Mo flips into the end zone for 6.
Nice job. You talking about gut punch up the middle, then talking about tossing it on the edge, and once you get him out on the edge, Sonic is gone. There we
Inside
go.
the 20, inside
Yes,
the 10,
sir.
inside the 5. Touchdown, Detroit Lions, 44 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs putting together a day.
Hat trick. Nice job.
There's your victory formation. Kyle Allen will take the snap, take a knee, and that'll do it. Two teams will meet out in the middle of the field to say job well done, job better done on this day by your Detroit Lions. As for just the second time since 1939, they have come on the road and beaten Washington. They do it today by a score of 44-22. Big bounce back for this football team, coming off an effort they were not happy with.
Nice job.
It's showtime. Oh, Lord, that was fun. I have no idea what's going on with YouTube today. I selected this stream. I hit go. It didn't go. It went to another stream that was scheduled earlier. And that stream was unlisted, like I said it was supposed to be. Remember earlier I said something was wrong with YouTube. It was scheduled wrong. And I don't know how. But anyway, I don't even know what you guys heard. I don't know if I was live on any of the other channels. I might have been. I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to start from the beginning. So I guess where I was at the very beginning is, that today, injuries, everything happening, on day 3 is not where you want to be, right? That's not where Lions fans want to be. Lee McNeil is a big part of this team. And I know not everybody feels that way about Lee McNeil, but I do. I mean, I've seen the work. A lot of us have seen the work, especially in 2024 before his injury. And coming back last year was pretty rough for him. Coming back off that injury for a defensive lineman, 330-pound man, it's pretty tough to come back from a major knee injury like that. And then to get injured right away when you get back. So for him to have a neck injury today, yeah, it's not ideal. And again, no shade towards Jimmy Rolder, but I am less concerned about losing a, 4th round pick in Jimmy Rolder that, is expected to be, special teams guy. It could be a very good special teams guy. I don't want to play him cheap, but I would rather have a Lee McNeil. Like if I could flip a coin 100 times, Lee McNeil, Jimmy Rolder, it's a Lee McNeil 100 times, right? So it's not good. And I don't have any updates since earlier to see, the progression. I did have my call today. It wasn't 6 p.m. It was 3 p.m. And I didn't get anything out of that either other than some other things that I've written and prepared today. And earlier I was trying to get the right day of notes up because if you follow DetroitFootballJournal.com, I was getting things updated from the first 2 days because if you haven't been here, day 3, the first 2 days, if you haven't been here the first 2 days, I went through 30 to 38 to 40 some odd points each and every day about the Detroit Lions training camp so far. The other thing that I was saying is that we have some players that are really playing well right now. And it's just 2 days into camp. Well, now 3, right? And I just want to throw that caution out into the wind, raise the flag and say, look, it's just spiders. There's no pads. Let's wait till pads get on before we say that someone's going to be an all-pro or someone's going to be MVP or yada, 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 right? We got to see the pads. And I don't mean that negatively towards JMO, but players like JMO that are really standing out right now, worked really hard in the offseason to gain some strength. In one of my articles, he even admitted the fact that, he was not strong enough last year. And when he was running shorter routes, shorter underneath routes, and he was kind of getting mixed up in the trash, he was getting pushed around. He was getting pushed off his landmarks. And when he gets pushed off his landmark and you're not able to make it, Jared Goff can't throw you the football, right? And so then you become less dependable. Still had a good season, but man, it could have been so much better, right? So much better had he been a little bit stronger last year. So the point that the emphasis that he wanted to drive into the season was making sure that he was stronger going into the season. And so far, look, he's raising up in contested catches. He's doing great. But I got to see the pads on to see if he can handle the jam at the line of scrimmage and if that part of his game has changed. Because if it hasn't, none of this stuff that's going on right now will matter. None of it. Because if he can't get off the line and can't get a clean release, then the downfield contested catch stuff won't happen, right? Now, he's going to get releases. JMO's going to get free. But it's just, Drew Petzing's system is still going to have a lot of underneath stuff. It's a West Coast hybrid system, right? There's the dink and dunk. There's the downfield. There's the wheel routes. There's the 13 personnel. There's the 12 jumbo. It's pretty much everything, man. It's a smorgasbord. It's like every offense mashed together. It's the best of every offense mashed together. And I honestly feel like it's just going to be our nuclear weapon this year. It's Drew Petzing. He's going to be the guy that's going to pull it all together. So anyway, let's start with tonight's rundown. Again, I want to say hi, thank you to everyone that joined tonight. And what is the queue for party at Ford Field? What is that for? What's the party at Ford Field? What did I miss, Eric? What is this all about? Game day tailgates? What are you talking about? Like, what is it? I didn't know about the queue. I need more info. I don't even see anything online. Anyway, if I'm not in the queue, I'm not getting tickets to whatever the hell it is. But anyway, let's get into tonight. There's a lot of good things that happened today. There's a lot of bad things that happened today, and it's not going to change this team 3 days into camp, and starting the season. It is what it is, and they'll have to get over it. Yeah, Eric, I just got your text. I obviously can't do that right now. It's not a big deal. I don't know what queue it is. You got to tell me what it's for, so I know what it's for. I don't even know if I'm interested in it. The bobblehead? Wednesday, August 19th. Oh, yeah, we'll be there. I mean, they usually give us one of those. Send me, just forward me your email, then I can pop into it that way. Well, hold on. Gosh darn it. I can't do it because I got a show to do. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. If you get an extra ticket, let me know. How about that? Anyway, so tonight's third night, Detroit Lions training camp practice. It produced the clearest evidence yet that Jameson Williams is developing beyond his reputation as just a pure vertical threat. That's what I'm taking away from it so far. I think he's doing good. I'm glad to see the development. Now we got to see it move to the next step. Christian Mahogany came back to the field today and back into the offensive line competition. The elevated, two young edge rushers and turned Nick Whiteside into one of the first legitimate roster risers of camp. I mentioned that on day 1. Pay attention to Nick Whiteside, and here he is on day 3, still impressing everybody. But today was not entirely positive. As I mentioned, defensive tackle Lee McNeil left practice with a neck issue, while rookie linebacker Jimmy Rolder departed with a leg issue. Both walked off under their own power, right? So that's good news, but neither returned, and Detroit had not announced any form of a diagnosis or a timetable by the end of the reporting window today, which I think is at 5:25. So what really mattered on day 3? A lot. Williams is changing the way that Jared Goff may be able to use him. The young defensive linemen are beginning to provide answers behind Aiden Hutchinson. Blake Miller is continuing to look like he is the early favorite for the right tackle position, and the Lions' growing injury list is beginning to place legitimate pressure on several positional groups. Jameson Williams, look, he's becoming available when he is covered. And this is something that he has not really produced a whole lot in the previous seasons. Williams has always been able to run away from defenders. The question entering this camp was whether he could consistently make plays when the defender did not lose the route, right? When he shakes the defender, he gets open. But now through 3 practices, the answer is beginning to change for Jameson Williams, who made a defining offensive play today when he caught a deep pass between Ennis Rakestraw and Chuck Clark. He followed that up with additional receptions in traffic on day 2. And on Friday, he adjusted to an underthrown ball during one-on-one work against Ennis Rakestraw. He's elevated through contact, and he's completed yet again another contested reception on day 3. Later, during the end of the half period, Williams made 2 more catches with Rock Yassin closely attached to his hip. Why is this important? It's a big development for Jameson Williams. It'll be even bigger when the pads come on. Goff has historically been a precision route passer. He values the defined reads, the clean timing, the dependable route structure. He has not regularly thrown deep balls into tight coverage simply because a receiver might win, right? If Williams continues to show that he can adjust, elevate, and finish whenever a defender is attached at his hip, Goff no longer needs that perfect separation before giving him an opportunity. I'm not saying that Goff has never thrown into trouble. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Goff doesn't throw into tight windows, because he does it all the time. But the downfield stuff, Goff has trusted less unless the player's open. Now, that frame of mind is starting to change. How often he does it? Well, that's yet to be seen. Under Drew Petzing, what Jared Goff is able to do, what Drew Petzing asks him to do, we'll see where it develops. Now, Dan Campbell's praise also focused on more than just speed for Jameson Williams. He pointed toward Williams' route detail, body control, strength at the catch point, and willingness to attack the football with his hands. All points that I made in the offseason about Jameson Williams. This is a difference, really, or there is a difference between a dangerous specialist and a complete receiver. Players like D-Hop, complete receiver, could spread you wide, spread you deep, and against any corner would go up and body him out, box him out, and take the ball. A vertical threat, they can force the safety back, right? A complete receiver can punish the defense when the corner sits on the route, when the safety rotates over top, or when the quarterback has to throw the ball to the receiver's break, and hopefully they're breaking open. Drew Petzing can now begin exploring comebacks, boundary routes, deep in breakers, and intermediate concepts that depend on Williams winning through contact rather than just simply outrunning coverage. I think we're going to see a lot more back shoulder. I think we're going to see some front shoulder. And I think we're going to see a lot of timing routes where J-Mo knows the ball's coming, and it's coming, and he just turns around and grabs it. This could be the most important offensive development, while Gibbs is not in the offense yet, right, of Detroit's entire camp here in 2026, is how Jameson Williams develops this year. It's going to be a big year for him, and he can make the contract that he received look small compared to his production if he continues to go in this direction. Goff operated the situational offense today very clean, surgical precision, and that's what we expect. This offense has been around each other for now 5 seasons, the majority of them. Yes, we have a new offensive line, but we have multiple receivers that have been around each other and multiple other players that have been around each other on this offense. They get it, right? Situationally aware is much different when you can execute at a high level, and that's what Goff did, and that's what the offense did today. Friday's practice really moved beyond introductory installation and into more of meaningful situational football. The Lions closed with an end-of-half scenario today that required the first-team offense to travel 75 yards and reach scoring range before the time expired. What do you think? Do you think that they did it today? Of course they did. Goff handled the sequence perfectly, methodically, like I said earlier, surgically. He then found Amon-Ra St. Brown for approximately 9 yards, Williams for 7, Laporta for 5, Sione Vaki for 8, and then connected with Williams for roughly 20 yards before getting the offense lined up for the spike. You can put you in so many game situations right now where this is just kind of running through. You know, you can see it. That sequence, it happens time and time and time again. But this sequence was not built around one explosive play this time. It required Goff to identify leverage, move the chains, protect the clock, and use everybody in the offense to get downfield. St. Brown still remains the dependable third down answer. Laporta continues to participate without an apparent restriction after the back surgery. Vaki's involvement is what kind of makes me all giddy inside, because the passing situation really opens up when you have players like Sione Vaki who are now stepping into a role. The drive ended with Jack Fox converting a 48-yard field goal with Isaac Tesla served as the holder. Pretty impressive stuff. Jake Bates still remains Detroit's kicker, but Fox's attempt was useful emergency prep. Tesla's work as a holder also adds another small but meaningful layer to his potential game day value. I'm going to pause right there. Why do you think a Tesla is in there holding kicks? And why do you think he's doing it now? Now, let me ask you another question. How much of these breakdowns have you heard from anywhere else? I'm curious. If anyone's going this deep and getting you this type of information and giving it to you in a way that's digestible, you know, and meaningful, I'm curious if anyone else is really doing it. I mean, there's people that will read others' articles, you know, or whatever. I'm just curious. Or maybe they just yell at the screen the whole time. I don't know. But anyway, the receiver room. It's becoming more competitive now, behind just Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, and soon to be Isaac Tesla fitted right in there as the firm number 3. But Isaac Tesla holding kicks, the reason why he's doing it, and I think what the Lions are looking forward to is, quite honestly, the ability to call the fake. And Isaac Tesla was a former what in high school? What was he? Y'all remember? Oh, yeah, Jerry Reisman does stuff like this. Anybody remember what Tesla was in high school? There you go, QB. So the fact that he can throw the ball, and he's also a receiver, maybe throws it to himself. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that's what we're looking at. That this is the early stages of them starting to shape and mold the trickery, the bag of tricks. And I think that Isaac Tesla is going to be utilized at some point. Hopefully the Lions don't need to get that far. You know, hopefully they don't, you know, really need to, to get 7 and they can take the 3 and still win the game. But if they do need to take the 7, and you know how Dan Campbell is, he wants to walk off the field with a win. He doesn't want to go to OT. So he's always going to go for it. And I think that the game will kind of dictate that now. I think he's grown a little bit in that area of the way he coaches. But I have no worries on whether Dan Campbell's going for it or not. Like, whatever he decides, I'm good with, because it's proved itself out so many times. But I do see TeSlaa being able to be utilized in this situation as throwing the football to somebody, running the football in, or maybe he's the receiver and Jack Fox is going to throw him a pass. I mean, either way, those three options are wide open when you have a guy like Isaac TeSlaa holding the football. All right, Williams to St. Brown. Like I said, they are the primary receivers. You guys know that. That's not changing. And they're also the primary offensive stories right now. But we also have several reserve receivers that are strengthening their cases. TeSlaa made a really nice back shoulder reception today, and then he continued in receiving responsibilities outside the traditional receiver role. His ability to contribute offensively, participate on coverage, and serve as an emergency holder could make him a difficult matchup this season. Greg Dortch, he won a one-on-one rep today against Roger McCreary. He's reinforcing why they brought him in and how he appears that he's separating himself in the wide receiver 4 competition. Dortch is sudden. His return experience, a familiarity with Petzine's offense, it gives him an immediate role, and it's a bit different than the other receivers. I got to get rid of the yawns. All right, so moving forward, Lions today on offense, especially with Greg Dortch. He really doesn't have to be like this high volume, target, if you will, to really help this offense. I think that the motion, the option routes, the screens, the return duties, and the designated touches can really make him useful without removing St. Brown, Williams, or TeSlaa from their primary roles. Excuse me. Lawrence Keys, he started to step up a little bit today. He produced one of the day's better offensive plays, and he started to compete, for probably a wide receiver 6 role if the Lions go that far, but he completed a very difficult toe tap rep on a well-placed sideline throw from Luke Altmaier, and Luke Altmaier looked a little bit better today too. Obviously, that play, it mattered for both players. One, you wanted to see Altmaier make the throw, and when we're on, you want to see Lawrence Keys make the catch, and he demonstrated really good body control, boundary awareness, and Altmaier obviously showed the arm talent to be able to push the ball out. And so all those things really helped these guys in camp today. Has to make the Lions feel a lot better about the reserve competition, because it's no longer simply about, just whichever receiver catches the most passes anymore, right? It's you have to identify the players who can, fill different roles and contribute on special teams. And so far we have plenty. All right, brief break. We'll be right back.
Every day, thousands of people are discovering Uper Lights, Michigan's newest, funnest rock to go find on the shores of the Great Lakes. Don't go out with just any light. Try the Convoy C8 from UperLights.com. It's guaranteed for life, and you'll find all the ones everyone else misses. Quality UV lights that are perfect for Uper Lights, with prices starting as low as $20. Please make sure to visit UperLights.com for all your UV flashlight needs, with the best guarantees on the market. Just what you wanted and not what you didn't. The best quality, the best guarantees, and the best UV flashlights from UperLights.com.
All right. So next up, we're going to get into Mahogany, and then we're going to go right to his video media session today. But Mahogany, man, he was removed finally from the NFI list. It was a short stint, but his immediate return today was meaningful. Obviously, the offensive line is going through some major changes. And to have a player that has been in the system, in the offense for a couple of seasons, understands the team dynamic, it's important to have him. If he is the right guy, right, it's important to have him on the field. None of these guys, from Cade Mays and Mahogany and Penei Sewell, they've never taken a snap together, right? And that's a pretty meaningful statement too. These guys have to learn the dance. They have to learn how each one of them works and how each one of them operates and how each one of them sees the field and how they react, right? It is a well-orchestrated dance, that offensive line play. Mahogany's absence, it apparently involved an internal matter rather than a physical injury. So let's let that be noted right away. He split first-team reps, left guard reps with Juice Scruggs, and also worked with the second-team unit today. I'm not sure why he went to second team other than just to give Juice Scruggs a little bit of time, right? And for him to get more snaps. Oh, I hate the yawns. His return changes the offensive line evaluation for sure, for at least for me. I've had him in as the left guard all year. That's my choice, but Juice Scruggs could make it interesting. He has been receiving some valuable first-team work this week. And during the first two practices, he demonstrated the ability to play both guard and center. And that versatility is coveted by Dan Campbell. And it's important in a reserve role to be able to have that multiplicity and versatility, because you never know when you're going to need it. Juice Scruggs is going to make this team too. Without a doubt, I don't think he's going anywhere unless he totally falls off, a cliff face. He's definitely going to make this team. Mahogany, though, however, he still remains, like I said, the most likely long-term starter. Put him in at left guard. During one-on work on Friday, though, he controlled Tyler Lacey and showed power that Detroit expects from the inside. They're going to have a power running game, and they expect these guys to be maulers. Let's go to Mahogany right now and hear what he had to say about the day.
Even on Wednesday, Dan spoke about the O-line, saying he expects improvement from last year. I mean, the expectation is even higher.
Yeah.
How important is it for you guys to live up to that, and what do you think makes you guys better?
Well, when the head man, comes calling, you gotta answer the call. So that's what we'll try and do, and that's what we're going to do.
Can you speak about the competition that, again, is going to happen at your position and kind of the fight to keep that spot?
Yeah, competition is beautiful. It's a blessing. Like, you don't stay content. They say pressure makes diamonds, So you just got to be ready to come out and work every day. Those guys are really good, too. We're all in the NFL. We're all here to work. But at the end of the day, they're also my teammates. So we want to all see each other be better as well. And, whatever happens, that's what's going to happen best for the team.
You guys got some one-on-one pass rush today. It's no pads. How much weight do you put on that? What does it mean?
It's good. You got to, even though, no pads sucks, you got to wait to get the pads on, but it's still same guys, same, just pads just adds a little more oomph.
How did you feel last year post-injury? When you came back,
I felt all right. It's hard to that was probably my second injury ever. So, it's just the mental of it, how it happened in football. But, you just got to work through that eventually. And then now I feel great. So it all worked out.
On balance over the course of the year, were you pleased with the way you played? Where did you feel like?
No, I can never say I feel pleased. Like I said, I probably said this again, repetitive. Once I feel pleased, like I said, I won't be here anymore. Like, there won't be a Christian Mahogany in the building. I won't be here once I'm pleased. So I'm never pleased. I definitely didn't play up to who I want to be and the player I want to be and who Hank and, Brad and Dan want me to be. So I just got to be better in all facets of the game.
Where do you think you made your biggest gains heading into the year?
Probably pass pro. Definitely, that was the biggest concern because, playing, no excuse, but playing left guard for a full season, I haven't done that. I didn't do that in a long time. So just working on footwork, pass pro, because in the run, I love the run, just little nicks in here and there, but just polishing up the pass pro a lot this offseason, this summer.
What did you come in at weight-wise this year?
Around the, I think like 336, 338. Yeah, around the same. No, nothing different. No.
What does that polishing process look like? Is that looking back at tape?
Yeah, definitely. That was the biggest thing. I watched, like I would say, maybe 2 of my best games, and then what got me, and then like my worst games as well, and then just seeing what I did wrong, how I got beat. I'm never a guy that's going to be like, okay, I got beat. These guys are NFL all pros. These guys are good. I'm never going to put my head down and be like, oh damn, I lost. You're going to lose, but it's how you lose. You know, so the biggest thing for me was just watching how I lost, fixing that, and then just making sure it doesn't happen again.
Just having someone like Skipper, someone you played with, now coaching you helped at all?
It's definitely easier because you have a player-to-player relationship, even though, like, I don't really see, like, it's hard to say he's my coach yet, but it's Dan, it's Skipper. He's a great dude. He's going to be a great coach, and it's so much easier in the process to talk to him as well, for sure.
I love it. I love what he's saying here. And the fact that he worked on the pass pro. And that this is a very credible statement by Mahogany too. Not having played left guard in a long time, and how well he's actually played. Last year was rough. It was absolutely rough. It was rough for everybody on that offensive line, but it was extremely rough for him too. Even more so, I think, because everything that was going on in the center position, he was really starting in his third game. Like, he played 2 games at the end of, was it 2024? Played really well, scored really high if you enjoy PFF, and then scored fairly low last year according to PFF. There's points of his game last season that were very bright, and then there was points of his game last year that were not so bright. But you could say that about everybody on the offensive line. It's dark in here, huh? Probably should turn on some lights. So with that, I want to take a quick gander at PFF real quick and just see. I'm just curious where he was last year. From game to game. Should have prepared this, but it's all right. Yeah, so his pass block grade last year was a 40.7 according to PFF. 40.7 on the season. His run blocking was better than average. 67.2. He was the 27th out of 81 guards that played last year. 81 guards that played meaningful snaps anyway. He played in a total of 699 snaps, 407 in the pass blocking snaps, 292 run blocking snaps. And he just didn't hold up. He allowed 6 sacks last year. That's a huge number. It's way too many. Way too many. What I do like is the fact that he only had 2 penalties, even with all the chaos and all the confusion and all the BS that was going on last season. He didn't get flustered. It doesn't mean that he didn't commit penalties. He just didn't get flagged. But he didn't get flustered enough to where it all collapsed in on him, right? He was still able to maintain his head, even though things were kind of collapsing around him. So Christian Mahogany working in the pass pro all offseason. We're going to see that show up here as soon as the pads get on. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see where his development goes here in 2026. Next up, let's take a look at some reposts today on it didn't come through. Why didn't it come through? There we go. Let's take a look at some reposts today on Twitter. What do we got? Camping with Waymo. Who's this? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? Stealing the ball. Is that Whiteside? Who's rocking 38 in practice? Does anybody know? I don't even know who's rocking 38 in practice. I think that's Whiteside. I'm almost positive that's Whiteside. There's Teddy B. Let's take a listen to Teddy B real quick.
I got a special guest I want to introduce you guys to. All right, we got a new team reporter this year, Brooke. Now we got some familiar ties. So, Brooke, you know what? Come on, Brooke. How you doing?
How you doing? It's
so
good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well.
2019 was the last time?
Yeah, last time. Long time.
Long time.
A lot's changed since then.
Yes.
Look at you now. You're here in Detroit.
Yep.
So, let me ask you this. Do you have any ties to Michigan?
I actually do. So my great-grandfather's dad's family from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay, yeah.
And my great-grandfather's the one that moved us to Pennsylvania. So originally from Philadelphia, raised in Houston, and then covered this guy when he saved the Saints season back in 2019, went 5-0 when Drew was injured. So happy to be back with a familiar face.
I'm so glad to see you. So, of course, Lions Country.
Yep.
Is getting to know you. Is there something that they don't know about you? I'll give you a secret. She has 2 different color eyes. All right, that's one secret. But is there another secret that they don't know about you?
So I've heard some things about the pizza up in Detroit. A little different than the Chicago deep dish.
Okay.
I got to see what that's about because I'm a big like New York style pizza. So I feel like I'm gonna like the Detroit style. That not thin crust, but that type of crust pizza.
Now, are you a food
hold up. I just got to ask the question. I got to ask the question in the chat. Are you New York thin? Are you Detroit deep dish? Right? Are you the Chicago version of the deep dish? And between Chicago and Detroit, who did it first? And who does it the best? You're not going to like my answer. I am New York thin all day long. I still like I like a Detroit deep dish way better than a Chicago pie. Hands down, I do. But I also got to tell you that some of my favorite pizzas are down in Florida, down in Naples. There's some great wood fire pizzas down there. I mean, there's some amazing pizza down there. It has to be a crispy, it has to have good undercarriage, good crispy crust. But that Chicago deep dish, man, with all the sauce and it's too much, and it takes an hour to cook. I want pizza. I want it now. I don't want Little Caesars. I'm sorry, but I want good pizza. I don't want to wait forever. An hour and a half sometimes you're waiting for a Chicago pie. I've had them a couple of times when I've gone to Chicago for business, and I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan. So Detroit all the way on the deep dish. You give me a New York slice, hands down, thin, crispy, Napoli style, even better. Hook it up. Anyway, we'll finish here at Brooke.
Do you go to eat at these places, or
I can be. Hey, if anybody has any places they would like me to try, I'm there.
All right, I'll tell the guys to make a list for you.
Yeah,
all right? But what are you looking forward to this year working with the Lions?
So excited. So obviously from that 2019 season, covered Dane Campbell and got to see that gritty, fiery energy, and now covering him as a head coach here in Detroit. I'm just so excited and looking forward to seeing that in person. I've kind of seen it now day one and day two with the team that everybody kind of has that grit mentality. So it's just a fun team to cover, and Super Bowl aspirations. They've made it very clear this year that this is a team that can compete, and so I'm happy to be along for the ride. Hopefully bring some stories to the fans. And so we know we've got some stories we want to talk to you about this year, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just have loved my time covering the NFL.
I'm excited to see you again, excited to work with you again, Brooke, and looking forward to great things. This is Teddy Bridgewater reporting. No, but so excited, Brooke. Looking forward to great things for you.
Thanks, Teddy. I appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Definitely good to see you as well.
All right, so that's Brooke. I'm going to butcher her name. Kirchhofer. Brooke Kirchhofer. She is a new team reporter for the Detroit Lions. So welcome to the team, Brooke. Teddy B doing his thing. All right, so I got to have the conversation. I got to pause on this whole damn thing real quick. We got to talk Teddy B. For a while now, you've heard me talk about Teddy B's just not my option at number 2. He's just not. And we'll talk about him in a minute, but he's been struggling in camp. He's also had some good moments in camp. Pads aren't on, right? We're going to see how his feet move when he has to move. And I've also mentioned in the past, too, that, I thought that Teddy B's best route, is to coaching is right now. Like, if he just can't produce, if Luke Altmaier ends up being the guy, dude, put the helmet down, pick up a clipboard, and join the Lions team of coaches. This is the time to do it. It's the perfect time to do it. And you'll still get a ring at the end of it. So, you guys let me know in the comments below, in the chat right now. Are you rocking with Teddy? Or... because I don't know if I'm rocking with Luke Altmaier yet. I feel like Brad and Dan need to do something better here, but I know why Teddy's there, and that's why it's so hard to throw shade at the guy, because he is so intelligent and he knows the game like the back of his hand, and he's extremely good on the sideline with that coach mentality, right? Has a history of coaching now. I mean, he's an ultimate competitor too. I mean, coming back from the nasty leg injury, one of the nastiest leg injuries ever suffered in the NFL. And he's still doing it. He's still doing it for more than 10 years in the league. And I like him on the sideline. I don't know if I like him in the huddle. But let me know, what do you guys think about Teddy B? Let's get into the rest of this breakdown here. All right, so Ben Bartch, we were talking about the offensive line. Now, Ben Bartch has not really entered full team periods while Detroit manages his return from the foot injury that ended his 2025 season. Campbell said that the Lions hope to begin giving Bartch team reps next week. Now, that does mean that the left guard competition really hasn't started yet. Mahogany has completed only one practice so far, and Bartch has not really participated in teamwork. So Scruggs has received the most first-team reps, but may ultimately become more valuable as that interior swing lineman, right? You have the swing tackle, and then you have an interior swing lineman, and I think that the Lions have one of each every year, or have had one of each every year to some extent. Now, the real evaluation, like I said, is next week. All three players can be, finally compared together in similar conditions, on the field. We'll cruise right into Blake Miller here. He continues to look like the part. He looks like the favorite right now at the right tackle position. He has been the primary right tackle in camp so far and continued building on the early advantage that he has over all of the other candidates. Friday introduced offensive line and defensive line one-on-one work, offering the clearest individual pass protection evaluation in camp, but without pads, right? No pads. Miller held up against the vet DJ Wanham and reportedly put him on the ground when Wanham attempted to counter inside. Now, if you remember the day before, how did Blake Miller get beat? Blake Miller got beat by Aiden's inside counter. Sounds like Blake went back to the team hotel and looked at the tape and realized what he did when Wanham tried to do the same thing. He put him in the dirt. So that's the type of experience you're looking for. And that's the type of change that you're looking for in a very young player day by day. Can he grow over yesterday's mistake? And Miller proved today that he could. Now, the Lions have not completed, a full padded practice. I'm going to say that 100 times. And Miller has not faced any sort of an extended sequence of a varying pass rush plan from Aiden Hutchinson, or a blitz, or even a layered blitz or a delayed blitz or any of that, or a blitz with the rush. He hasn't seen anything like that from these NFL guys yet. But Detroit does continue to give Miller the conventional first-team tackle reps because he deserves it. And right now he's showing improvement. Larry Borum has been broadly used as a reserve and additional lineman on second team. And I really think that's notable, that Miller is in there to start the week, right? I think the usage is saying starter versus swing tackle distinction for sure. Again, pads. Got to get them on. Penei Sewell left tackle. So Penei Sewell left tackle, Christian Mahogany at left guard, or Ben Bartch. I think it's going to be Mahogany. Cade Mays at center, Tate Rowledge at right guard, and Blake Miller at right tackle. I think that we're pretty set with an offensive line. And I think that offensive line configuration, while it remains provisional for right now, I think that what Miller is doing with the first round reps, the first team reps that he's getting, I think it's starting to open up the conversation that our offensive line might be back. And that is the biggest thing that was missing from last season, outside of all the injured players. Sewell and Hutchinson, they delivered the matchup that everybody wanted today. Detroit gave Sewell and Hutchinson 2 reported one-on-one reps together. Guess who won both? If you know the answer, if you've already heard the answer, don't answer. But if you don't know the answer, put it in the chat. I'll just do a quick poll, real quick. Who won the reps? And I think we can put 4 answers in here. I'll go 8 and 1 both. We'll go Panay won both. Or they split. I think that's all we need. Who won the reps today? 2 reps today. Between Panay Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson. Who won the reps? Now, obviously, what extended after this and this result, really hasn't become a referendum on this individual just yet. But the offensive linemen have an inherent advantage when they know exactly when the rep begins. And Sewell is one of the league's premier tackles. So that kind of gives it away. If you've already answered, the answer is... Oh, you guys are getting it. 6 votes. Panay Sewell. He won both. That's your answer. So it matters, right? It matters because the quality of the competition here for Panay Sewell, now working on the left side for the first time in many, 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 many years, at least since 2021, it gives him that confidence that he's going to be able to hold up against the bigger guys. But again, I'm going to say it again. It's the trigger word of the day. Pads. No pads. And now is potty time for Gunner. It's got to be about that time. I'll be right back.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jameer Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap back, looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Nice job.
Mariota's got it back. Pressure comes. He's hit. Slips out of it. Rolling to his right. Now he's going down. Brian Branch got him. Sack for the Lions. Snap taken by Mariota. Wants to throw it. Gonna get hit. Gonna get sacked.
Yes,
Take it down. Brian Branch got him second time today.
Nice job.
Hands it to Gibbs, running right, runs through a tackle, gets down to the 10, Gibbs through the 5, still fighting, down to the 2, down to the 1, to the end zone! Yes. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! He did not quit!
Nice job.
Off to throw again, does, middle, J-Mo, angling to the end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Hutchinson, he goes down again!
All right, and I'm back. Thank you for being patient. Gunner says he's got to go. He's got to go. Dude's old, man. He is old. All right, I want to get into a few of my other notes real quick. I'm going to go through the points. I was at offensive line. I've already talked about, Panay Sewell winning both the reps. Obviously, that's elite on elite work, right? It's elite on elite work. Detroit gains information for both players, but again, like I said, no pads. Sewell is starting to show that he's going to be able to stabilize the left side. I think we can cash it in that he's going to be just fine. My points on Christian Mahogany, I don't think I had anything different on my other list here. That he won his one-on-one reps. He split reps with Scruggs. Starting job is still what it is, but I think it's his. Drew Scruggs, he was continued to receive first team left guard work and second team. His versatility is still valuable. Center may still be the cleaner position for him. And I think Dan Campbell mentioned something like that earlier in this press conference. His floor is very valuable for the reserve status. So I'm expecting Juice Scruggs to make this roster right now. Again, Ben Barch, no information. Blake Miller, already talked about him. Larry Borum still remains Detroit's likely swing tackle. And Moore beat him decisively inside. So the rookie, DJ Moore, beat him decisively inside. Now, for all the people getting way excited, now you got to remember, if it was the other way around and it was Aiden, I don't care if it's DJ, just like I said about Panay. No pads, right? No pads. When we see the pads come on, then we'll see how things change. But again, DJ Moore beat him decisively. Manu's injury obviously is going to give everybody else way more opportunity. And if you haven't heard me say this already, I'll say it again today. I think Manu's ticket's done. It's punched. I think he'll probably get an injury. I'm surprised he doesn't have an injury settlement already. I think that once things calm down over the next few weeks or whatever, whatever's happening there, if it is 12 to 14 weeks, you could see where they end up giving him an injury settlement. And then at that point, whatever that settlement is just like what happened with Ahmed Hassanin. There's going to be a 21-day window where the Lions can't talk to him, the Lions can't engage with him, and he can go to another team. And he may not. We'll find out. We'll see. Offensive line question of the day. Can Miller protect Goff immediately? Let me know what you guys think in the chat and in the comments later. Do you think that Blake Miller is going to be the biggest stabilizer of this offense, not named Penei Sewell? I'd love to know in the comments below. Let's go to the defense real quick. Derek Moore produced the best pass rush sequence of practice today. Kind of different from the other day, right? With the defense really, they really took it to the offense the other day. It was kind of a back and forth kind of a day today, which I guess is probably what you would expect on day 3. But anyway, the rookie, second round pick, Derek Moore, delivered one of Friday's most encouraging performances. Again, no pads, but his decisive defeat of Larry Borum with that inside swim move before beating Colby Sorsdahl around the edge with speed. Again, Colby Sorsdahl. If you guys are getting excited about that, don't get excited. I'm not excited about that. I want to see him beat Penei Sewell, right? I want to see him beat Blake Miller. Blake Miller to a lesser extent. Beat Penei Sewell, and then I'll be happy. He also generated pressure during teamwork. And look, there's high hope for DJ Moore this year. I think that he's going to blend in well. I think he's going to have a stable rookie season. I don't know, yet if he's going to be a breakout player. He could. And he may just be a solid role player in his first year. And any which way he goes is totally fine. We don't need 10 sacks out of the guy. We need him to be consistent. So whether you win one today and you lose one tomorrow, it doesn't matter. You got to get back up and you just have to keep fighting forward. And Derek Moore is going to provide that. I think in a couple of years, you're going to have a guy that is producing at a high level. Now, is he going to be a true number one at some point? Probably not. But is he going to be a very valuable, player inside this scheme that is totally changed from what it was a year ago? Young pass rushers frequently dominate college, right, through one superior trait. Some only win with speed. Others rely on power. NFL tackles usually or eventually adjust when they know which move is coming. And I think that's the thing that nobody knows right now. They don't know the player across from them just yet. I don't think, and I don't know this for sure, unless they've gone up against these players in the past, I don't think like Blake Miller's going in and watching film on Derek Moore, in the team hotel the night before practice. I highly doubt it. But he will watch film on the opponent for a couple of days during the season. So does Derek Moore. Derek Moore says that he watches film, for a couple of days against his opponent. So we'll see. And again, I highly doubt they're watching film on each other. So they don't know anything about each other. And it's a little bit easier to get away with it the first, the second, the third time. But when you get about halfway into camp and you've been going up against these guys time and time again, you start to settle in, you start to know what's coming, you start to figure them out, and then less of these bigger plays happen. And that's why training camp without another team in there gets so stale. And that's why the preseason is so important. And that's why joint practices are so important. And that's why Dan Campbell has done them every year. But this year he decided, you know what? We're not showing anybody anything, period. We're gonna play everything close to the vest until we have to show something. And we're going to show very little in preseason. They're probably going to run a lot of base. Yeah, they're going to have to test the nickel too, but they're going to run a lot of base and try to throw everybody off. Tyleik Williams. Lee McNeil. All right, health is now the defining issue. I haven't heard anything else on how bad it is. Here's my take on Aleem. No pads. I would probably be worried if there was pads on. A neck issue can be bad though. Right? You don't necessarily need to take a sideways hit. You don't necessarily need to get, stepped on, land wrong, tackling somebody, right? Usually neck injuries come from a tackle. When you're tackling someone to the ground, or you're going to make the tackle, your helmet goes into their chest and you're not facing them and your neck gets pinched or it gets compressed, right? And you get a compression fracture. I don't think any of that happened. This could just be tightness. It could just be a muscle spasm. And I'd say probably after a couple of days and some intense therapy, if that's what it is, he could be back. I don't know. But if it is a muscle spasm, man, they are god-awful. They're god-awful, especially in the neck, especially the ones that pinch in the shoulder blades. They're terrible. And so I would expect that's, what's going on here is that he has some sort of a muscle spasm. Again, I have not read or heard anything else for any other updates. Yeah, Sunburst, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Tyleik Williams, he now has to handle an increased role. He's going to have to be utilized in more positions, right? He's going to slide over to the primary 3-tech, I think, at some point. Levi Onwuzurike is now going to step up a little bit more. Tyler Lacey got in right away when McNeil left practice. So he moved down, right? He went from the big end and moved down. You're going to see other guys stepping up. And the Lions have a really deep class of defensive tackles on this team. We're going to be just fine. Mekhi Wingo also stepped up today. He received the first team reps after McNeil left. But between Lacey, Onwuzurike, Wingo, Williams, we have plenty of guys, right? We have plenty of guys. And the rookies, man. Tyree West, I think, is out there more so on the edge. Skylar Gill-Howard, I think he's been more to the outside, but we'll see where all that progresses. Ahmed Hassanin. Hassanin continued to create interior disruptions today. He beat Devin Cochran cleanly on a rep. Cochran responded during their second meeting, though, and Hassanin's stock is actually rising. So this is a player that a lot of people had a lot of doubt about last year. The people talking to you from this show didn't. We've always believed in Ahmed Hassanin, and again, it's early. I'm not going to, inflate anybody's feathers right away. But I think Ahmed Hassanin has a real shot that if he can just control the energy, right? What I wrote in my article yesterday, well, today I released it, but for yesterday's practice on Ahmed Hassanin is, the Lions could use some energy, right? They need some energy out there. But the one thing that they really need out of Ahmed Hassanin is consistency. That's the most important thing, is consistency. You can have all the energy in the world, but if you're just kind of a ball of energy and you're not playing consistent football, then you become a liability. So energy is great, but that energy has to turn into development. Onwuzurike generated another backfield play today. Everyone's getting in the backfield. Now, it's not an indictment on the offensive line. There's no pads. We should do a drinking game for how many times I say no pads. But his penetration did appear throughout camp. That was terrible. Somebody scraped that out. But anyway, consistency matters above and beyond for Levi Owens-Enrique too. Edge defenders, Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson competed pretty well against Sewell. Like I said, he lost the reps in the one-on-one, but that shouldn't diminish Hutchinson. It's not an indictment on Hutchinson. It's just practice, right? Derek Moore, again, we already talked about that. Ahmed Hassanin, we talked about that. Tyler Lacey. Lacey entered camp today with the first team. Big end work. He still has to provide a stronger run defense evidence. Padded practices will determine once again that competition. Drink, right? Peyton Turner. Turner's back issue crept up today, and this is not good because he has a history of spasms. He has a history of back stiffness. And so this back stiffness, whatever he has going on right now, any other issue that he faces with an injury could derail his season. It's early. We don't want that to happen. And thank God it's just stiffness and it's nothing else. I haven't looked at every injury that he's been through, but based on the reports and based on this injury report, let me pull it back up. In 2021, he had the leg calf strain and a shoulder. And that's all I could find outside of the stiffness in the back. That's all I could find. So I couldn't find any definitive back injury that would make me feel worse about his potential still, because I think that his length and his ability, as a pass rusher is going to be needed on this defense. Linebackers today, Jack Campbell. Campbell remains obviously the centerpiece. Had a good day today. Really controlling the front. Organizes the communication well. I really don't know what else to say about Jack. I mean, he's as good as they come. There's some guys I don't talk about because, like, what's the point? Unless they do something crazy in practice, what's the point? We know who Jack is. I mean, he's a top linebacker in the league. Derek Barnes continues moving between Sam and the off-ball alignments. We talked about this yesterday and the day before. He's getting a lot of work at all positions. And his versatility, again, it really supports that flexibility that the Lions are looking for, and he produced an interception, yesterday. So Derek Barnes really stepping into a functional opportunity to play multiple positions this year in the linebacker room. And then one of the things that I put in yesterday's notes was, let me find it. It was about Alex Anzalone and how Alex Anzalone is still showing up. Right? He's still showing up. And that's because Anzalone made an impact on Derek Barnes and on everybody else. Barnes spent the offseason studying Alex Anzalone's film and his technique as he was preparing for more complete linebacker assignments this year, which tells you that Kelvin Shepard went to him at some point after the season and said, hey, this is what we're doing. I need you to get ready. And this expanded role is going to give him greater awareness. It's going to give him, the ability to be better in zone coverage. I think his improved route recognition and the concepts that the offense is running. I think that this is just going to make him a better overall linebacker. This could be the year of Derek Barnes. And then we're going to look at that contract and we're going to say, damn, Brad Holmes was so smart to get that guy locked up. And I was not a big Derek Barnes guy. I haven't been. But the way that he finished and played last, season and the way that he's producing now, I feel a lot better about the way that he's progressing. Jimmy Rolder's leg issue, again, we don't have any more knowledge right now because it hasn't been produced by the Lions. That creates some immediate concern, but here's what doesn't concern me. He walked off under his own power. Okay, so he wasn't carted off. He wasn't in a walking boot. Which would have screamed, high ankle sprain or something or broken bone in the foot. None of that. We haven't heard any reports of any of that going on. It could just be a thigh bruise or a knee bruise or a contusion or bone bruise, something. I didn't hear hyperextension. I didn't hear, any sort of ligamental damage. None of that. So we'll find out more tomorrow. Joe Bocci, beaten badly today. Badly in space. But one rep doesn't decide camp, does it? Linebacker depth still needs stronger evidence, but they're coming along. Linebacker group right now, I don't want to say they're the weakest group, but in base, we probably are the weakest group on the field. Let me rephrase that. If Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are on the field, the linebacker group is the weakest group in base. Even though Jack is like the man of three men out there, when they're in nickel, I think the linebacker group's going to be one of the strongest groups out there, depending on who's in front, right? But I think the linebacker group's going to be one of the strongest groups. Need to see something out of Isian to make me feel better about the nickel package. All right, cornerbacks. DJ Reed delivered a strong jam against Williams today. And again, that's going to get better with pads. That's why I keep saying I want to see it. He's obviously the most talented DB we have out there right now. Ennis Rakestraw remained very competitive against Williams today too, and those are very strong points to take away from Ennis's ability and development so far. Rocky Scene stayed stayed connected hip to hip with Williams today too. I put Williams in every single one of these for a reason, because he's the fastest receiver out there, right? He's the one that can take the top off. And so when you're having really good reps between Rocky Scene, Ennis Rakestraw, and DJ Reed against one of the better wide receivers in the league, that makes me feel pretty confident about our cornerbacks. Roger McCreary disrupted a targeted pass to Cedric Wilson. Dortch beat him one-on-one. Excuse me. Even though McCreary remains the primary nickel option, he has not played well yet. He has not played. He's not played to the level that I thought he was going to come in and play at. But it's still early. Nick Whiteside has been all over it, man. All over it. Added another breakup today. As you saw in the video, he had another interception, or maybe that was from the other day. Obviously, the Lions are going to have to elevate him soon. Elevate him to getting him more second team work because of how good he's playing. Keith Abney, another pass breakup today. No major news on any of those guys really getting beat a whole lot. I mean, the wide receivers had their day. Just like the DBs did. Avonte Maddox. Avonte Maddox is still part of the temporary starting combo back there for the safety room, and he's being evaluated more as a deep safety with Kirby out. More demanding role, and he's fitting in really well. Chuck Clark provides experience and communication. Christian Isian, he's back at practice. Again, we got to see more out of him to know how that nickel defense is gonna thrive. Thomas Harper remained the next safety in the rotation, so he's with the second team. And then the question that I have for you is, can Detroit really survive September without Branch and Kirby? Can we do it? The contingency plan right now is Maddox and Clark. I mean, who else would you want to bring in? Is Justin Simmons still available? I mean, if he's still available, why not? He's probably 33 years old. Probably wants $6 to $10 million a year. I mean, is that a player that you bring in as an immediate, Band-Aid? I mean, someone that has a lot of experience, was one of the best in the league. You don't need every snap out of him. Maybe that's the type of fix that you need to go for if Kirby doesn't work out. Yeah, dude, I can't do anything about the yawning. Like I said the other day, ever since I've had to start taking Synthroid, levothyroxine, it's what happens to me every night. And all the talking lately, my vocal cords are still like damaged, after having 2 surgeries, one for the neck, one for the cancer. And it never recovered. It's something that I've always struggled with ever since. And it went away for a little bit and then it came back. And so I don't know why it's getting really bad now. It's way worse than it ever used to be. And I think it's just from talking all week. Remember, I took a lot of time off. A lot. And so my voice is getting trained for the season right now. I took a ton of time off. I pretty much took the draft forward. Just post the draft forward. I took all, those 2-3 months off. And then I took probably half the season off. I didn't do as much content as I normally do. All right, so today's stock report, that's where I'll finish with it. Jameson, stock up. Derek Moore, stock up. Nick Whiteside, he's on top of the list. Christian Mahogany, stock up. Blake Miller, stock up. Ahmed Hassanin, another good day. Stock up. Lawrence Keys, stock up. Isaac Tesla, I don't have a lot on today, but stock is up. Sione Vaki made a big impact today. His stock is up. Pressure is starting to rise in Detroit, right? Injuries are starting to mount. Interior defensive line depth it's not shaky when you lose just Aleem McNeil, right? It starts to get shaky if we have more injuries. I'm not worried about Aleem. I'm not worried. I'm worried if he's, out long term, but we have so many guys behind him. I think it's that point. If we lost Aleem, I think that is where Brad Holmes is going to have to make that decision. And that is, who can I bring in? They'll definitely wait till cuts. I mean, they'll try to bring in guys right now. Absolutely. But I think they'll wait till cuts to find a guy that's maybe better than what they can find right now. Because the good guys that can play ball, they're all on rosters right now. The guys that are sitting at home, they're not what you want to replace Aleem McNeil with. They're not what you want to replace, your fourth or your fifth or your sixth guy right now. So I think when you get to cut time, if there's something wrong with Aleem at the end of August, I think cuts maybe will provide a player. And if it doesn't, I think a trade's happening. I hope so, Edge. He says BB's going to shock the world and be out there by week 2. Oh, great, Eric. You got me a ticket, it sounds like. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea what was going on, dude. I never look at that email. I'm so bad with it. I just need to add it to my notifications is what I need to do. Pressure rising again. Jimmy Rolder, developmental timeline. What happens with this injury? Is it going to curb his development? He's been doing great the first couple of days. And then now this. All right. The temporary relief at the safety position. That's a problem. Or maybe it's not. Izzian's back in the fold. We'll see where that progresses. Larry Borum, the swing tackle responsibilities. I'm good with that if that's where it ends up. Juice Scruggs, swing interior responsibilities. I'm great with that if that's the way it happens. And if you think about it, the Lions have always carried. Here, let me pull up my spreadsheet, which I need to start updating. God, I got so much stuff I do. It's just insane. All right, so last year. Talking about the offensive line. On the 53-man roster, the Lions carried Decker, Jamarco Jones, Giovanni Manu, and Penei Sewell as tackles. They carried Mahogany, Awasika, and Ratledge as guards. They had Kingsley as the backup center and Graham Glasgow at center. What is that, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. And the Lions have always been somewhere between 8 and 10. So I think you have to dress 8 offensive linemen. And I think you get an extra player to bring to the game. I'm almost positive on that. If you dress 8 offensive linemen, you can bring an additional player to the game. And so normally, I think you can dress 48. Anyway, I think normally you can dress 48. And so here's the rule in the NFL. If dressing 8 offensive linemen instead of 7 increases your total game day active roster limit 47 to 48. So it's 47. You can then dress 48. If you dress 7 offensive linemen, your maximum active roster limit is 47. Lions are going to keep 8 offensive linemen. At a minimum, they have to. And then they got to dress all 8 so they can get that extra player. I don't know why you wouldn't, right? If you kept 6 offensive linemen, you're in trouble. If you kept 7, you're in trouble. So they're going to keep at least 8. And when you look at, how this roster is starting to assemble right now, I would say that your definite locks are, obviously from left to right, we'll go Penei Sewell, Christian Mahogany, Cade Mays, Tate Ratledge, Blake Miller, Juice Scruggs, Larry Borum. That's 7. Who's going to fill the rest of the pipeline? Scruggs can play center. Barch can play guard. So there's Ben Barch. There's 8 if he stays healthy. That's your 8 right now. And then you have Miles Frazier. We don't know what's going on with Giovanni Manu. I think Sorsdal's gone. Cochran's gone, even though they like Cochran. It could be a practice squad guy. The Sorsdal may or may not be a practice squad guy. But I think that's your top 8 for sure. And I think just about everybody would agree with that. The only issue is with Frazier. Do the Lions keep 9? And I would say probably. So I would say they're your top 9. So the fact that the Lions are pretty light right now in camp, with offensive linemen, it may be by design that they want to see, they want to see everyone else get more reps at other positions, and they already know who they want. But if those players get injured, then they have to go find some replacements pretty quickly. Let me get the updated roster real quick. Yeah, Jack Fox nailed a kick today, didn't he? Or was that yesterday? Yeah, it was today. I think I said that in the very beginning. Tesla was holding for him. That's pretty cool, man. I sign into this stupid. Oh, I'm on the wrong browser. I was about to yell at my browser, and it was me. All right, looks like it's got me signed in. All right, here's your updated. Oh, that's not it. See, it is on the wrong one. Here's your updated roster as of today, according to our lads. It's way cut off. It's way cut off. All right, offensive line. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. Offensive line right now, you have Penei Sewell. Giovanni Manu is obviously done. Devin Cochran. So there's 2. You have Cade Mays. That's 3. Scruggs, 4. Neese, 5. Laughlin, 6. Ratledge, 7. Frazier, 8. Priestley, 9. Miller, 10. Larry Borum, 11. Mason Miller, that's 12. So out of those 12, let's see. Sewell, Mahogany, Mays, Ratledge, Miller, Borum, Frazier, Scruggs, Barch. That's 9. And the rest of them are gone. Cochran, Sorsdahl, Neese, Priestley, Miller, and Laughlin most likely will all be cut. I cannot see the Lions keeping more than 9. I really can't. So I'm locked in on the offensive line right now. I know it's only day 3 in camp, so it's kind of meaningless. But we'll do a 53-man projection here in just a few moments. Yeah, Sunburst, it is like a no-brainer, man. Like, when you fill out your roster for the weekend, I don't know why they don't, why every team doesn't dress. Now, when you dress them, you got to pay them too, right? You got to get paid. And their game checks are a lot of times decided if you're called up. Are you not called up? Are you sitting at home? There's levels to the it's small amount of money for the guys in the bottom on the roster, but it's still money, right? And unfortunately, it's still a business, and I think that they manage every penny down to the penny. Every penny down to the penny. What am I forgetting today? I'd like to know where I just put those notes. Oh, I probably closed them. I think I did. Shoot. Oh. All right, let me take a quick break. Let me get back to my notes. I got a couple other things I want to add in.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jameer Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap back, looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Amon-Ra.
Oh, I just realized I was reading my shortened version. I got like a bulleted version that I use, to do this. And then I have the longer version, which is more article-like. And then I have this new version that I started creating. And I was testing the new version tonight. And so I wanted to go through some of these points at least from top to bottom. So I'll just go through a few. Talking about Jameson Williams. So this is like Dan Campbell's message, like a direct quote, things that I've been kind of just pulling out of each and every day's press conference and things that are, being said, post-practice. But Dan Campbell emphasized for Jameson Williams that the route detail, the body control, the strength at the catch point, and the hands technique, rather than simply praising his speed. And I thought that was such a significant difference compared to previous seasons. And I think what that to me, what it says about Williams, at least, is, again, it's showing that he's becoming more of a complete receiver, right? And that Dan is giving him that praise because he deserves it. And obviously he's excited about it. Here's his direct quote. He said he's, quote, doing all the little things right The sky's the limit. My analysis on this is minor. It's just, the strongest indication for me that Jamison Williams progresses and progresses as more of a structural and repeatable type of a receiver, not just a one-off guy that merely has, a lot of speed, right? And can separate. Want to see him body up these guys and use his, speed to break away, of course, but use his talent, his shiftiness to win on every opportunity. Aleem McNeil, obviously Campbell framed McNeil as one of the defenders who must capitalize when protection is tilted towards Hutchinson. He said that, in early parts of the press conference, where he said Mac is he's very important. Mac's got to win, and Dan Campbell expected that someone's going to get the one-on-one, right? Why not Aleem, right? And we needed to go to players that can win the one-on-one. Why not Aleem? And I agree wholeheartedly. Like, Aleem does win one-on-ones, and he wins one-on-ones often. Aiden Hutchinson, look, I get it. A lot of people think he gets doubled often, and he gets his fair share. Tripled, yes, he gets his fair share. But not, it's not an exorbitant amount versus, some of the other guys out there. The chips, yeah, he gets his fair share. My only issue is, if Aiden can't beat a tight end chip after the offensive lineman is releasing or before the offensive lineman engages, that's where I start to have the problem. And I think that's where Aiden is going to be refocused this year about just blowing through people, right? Using his speed and his power more and stop dancing so much. And I think that Aiden's going to be refocused, especially with this new defensive line and the shiftiness. So one of the other points that I put in I believe it was yesterday's article, maybe it was today. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, was the movement. The Lions are going to be causing chaos through movement and shifting guys around. We talked about it last night where I think I framed it, one, don't be surprised when you see 4 defensive ends. Don't be surprised when you see 4 linebackers out on the field. Don't be surprised when we run a 3-4, right? Or, 4-4-3. Just don't be surprised at anything that we're going to do, because I think that the Lions are going to keep it juicy this year. Sorry, Juice, I stole your name. I think they're going to keep it juicy. They're going to keep it fluid. And they're going to keep everybody guessing. And I think that Kelvin Shepard is designing a defense that is going to do exactly that. What I heard in the offseason is already starting to come true. Before we ever seen it, before anyone else has seen it, I reported it, and I told you it's coming, and here it is. It's here. This is the defense we've been looking for. And at least the right style of defense. They have to execute now. Ben Barch. Look, Dan Campbell said, quote, "We hope we start to get some team reps next week." Obviously, he's hopeful about Ben Barch. We're all hopeful about Ben Barch. He has some real playing time in the league. And I think that he's going to be a valuable commodity on this offensive line. I don't know that he's going to win a starting role, but I think that he's going to give one hell of a fight when he gets in there. Isian. Look, one more day. That was the hope that he said. The Lions delayed, Isian's return because he remained physically inactive, weakened by that flu. Despite earlier optimism that he could practice on Friday, it didn't happen. Jahmyr Gibbs. Look, he's not sweating Jahmyr Gibbs. And something that I want to point to real quick. Do you guys remember what Jahmyr Gibbs put on social media the other day? Now, you know me, I don't use social media to frame my responses. I don't use social media to, come up with what's really happening, on the team. I will say this. Here we go. Hold on. I got to find it. Shoot. Thought I had it saved. I don't even need it. He put up a picture of Jameson Williams, and he said, patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Think about that for a moment. What do you think it means? Do you think that it means he's patiently waiting to get back into practice? Do you think what I think is that it's more contractual? And what I mean by that is, what did Jameson Williams sign for a contract extension? Why did he put that up, and why did he say patiently waiting? So again, I don't normally use social media, but I'm trying to read between the lines here and where this is possibly going. Here's what I think. I'm going to reach on this one. J-Mo signed a 3-year, $80 million deal. I think 80 to 83 is the number, or 82 to 90 was the number that I gave, or 84 to 90 was the number that I gave you guys the other day. I think that's where the deal is going to land. I think that Jameer's going to get about $21 million a year. I think that they're going to rip up the 5th-year option and they're going to give him a 4-year deal. And it's going to start next year. Or it'll start right away, but you get what I'm saying. So maybe they could be a 5-year deal, but maybe they'll give him a 4-year deal that starts next year, or they give him the 5-year deal and it starts this year. Whatever the case may be, 84 to 90 million in new money. When you break it down, that's 21 million. Jameson Williams signed for basically 26.7 million a year. Do you think that Jahmyr Gibbs wants $26 million a year? Or do you think he wants that $80 million number? And it's over 4 years, because that fits really close to what a lot of people were talking about as far as his market value, not necessarily what he would get. I think he wants at least 80. And I think that he's saying, I'm patiently waiting for my 80. I think that that's what he's saying. Any thoughts? Because if he wants 26 million, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. Right now, currently, the estimate is 20 million to 20.6 million. I'm a little higher than that. I'm at 21. A 3-year, $60.45 million to, now they've gone up to 4 years at 84 million, which that's exactly what I put out. Who put that out there? When did they put it out? I wonder what I gave them for a contract in my article a while ago. Oh, get this. They're projecting that Bijan Robinson is going to get a 3-year, $75 million deal with 45 guaranteed. And the Gibbs is going to get a 4-year, $84 million with 46 million guaranteed. I just said that last night. 4 years, 84 to 90 million. So they have Gibbs getting the bigger deal. And that deal would set a new record. And I think it's going to happen. I don't think that there's any other way to slice this pie up. I think that you're going to have to pay him if you're going to keep him. But if he really wants, the kind of money that the J-Mo got, I don't see that happening. And that's where you lose me, and that's where I think you lose Gibbs, or you force Gibbs to play. Gibbs set market at 30 million a year? No way. No way. Maybe another Gibbs in baseball, but or basketball, but not in. There's no way. There's no way you're going to pay a running back $30 million a year. You're going to pay him more than Amon-Ra St. Brown, more than Penei Sewell, More than Aiden Hutchinson? Or no, still less than Aiden. Keep it scruggy. All right, finally, I see that there's some realistic people on Twitter. It's a Bears fan that says, Bears fans believe this forthcoming season they'll be a better club. But last year they won 11 games, losing a Pro Bowl center and left tackle Ozzie Trapillo makes them achieving the postseason more difficult. That's not the only players they lost. They lost a lot more than that. Oh, of course we got some fakers. Report that the NFL world is hearing contract talks between Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions are, quote, not at all that active. Not all that active. Per rap sheet, and of course, the most unprofessional journalist out there. Get the F out of here. Like, this has to be total rage bait. Clickbait. Where's it coming from? Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if Rap Sheet even said it. Did you guys see this posted yet? All right, let's take a listen to this. This was on July 29. This is on July 29. But it says NFL Insider drops concerning Jahmyr Gibbs contract update. Let's listen to what it says.
That the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson are having more active conversations as it pertains to a long-term extension. If a deal is going to get done for either of these guys, which I think it's safe to say is up in the air right now, certainly would make sense based on where it's going for Bijan Robinson to be first running back this offseason to get the blockbuster deal and become the highest paid running back in the NFL. Make no mistake, both of these players, both Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, are in similar situations. Both have fifth-year options. Both are entering the fourth year. Both have been engaged at some point in the offseason in long-term extensions. And both, if they get a new deal, will be either close to or the highest paid running back in the NFL. We will see if the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson can end up landing that plane. As far as Jahmyr Gibbs, these conversations do not seem to be as active. He is holding in as well as not really taking part in practice at all, similar to Bijan Robinson. Would not be surprised if we don't see Gibbs at practice, Patrick, and participating in practice until they get some sort of real significant progress on a contract extension. You know he's going to be ready physically. Both of these guys did the conditioning test. Both these guys passed the physical. Would not be surprised if we don't see them participate at all until they get new contracts.
All right, so hold on here. Hold on. Let's go back to that.
As far as Jahmyr Gibbs, these conversations do not seem to be as active. He is holding in as well as not really taking part in practice.
So I love it when people take words out of context. Jahmyr Gibbs is not the only one that's holding in. Bijan Robinson is also holding in. They both held in on July 29th. So explain this to me. Explain this to me. Bijan is still holding in too, by the way. So why would Jahmyr Gibbs' contract negotiations be any less active than Bijan Robinson? Why is it that they mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs' contract negotiations? And if you heard what he said, they weren't active because he's holding in. Well, why didn't you mention Bijan Robinson holding in? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take words out of context like that, because it would apply to both players. What he said applies to both players. And what we heard from Dan and others is that it is actively being worked on. They are expecting it to get done. The two sides are negotiating and have been talking for a while. So it is what it is. But I don't see that. I don't see that the contract's not getting done or not active. I mean, of course it is. Do you think that Brad Holmes is that stupid that he wouldn't be getting some sort of a deal in place? Do you think he's playing hardball? Do you think that he's playing hardball and he's just going to force Jahmyr Gibbs to play? We went through this the other day. If he did that, it would really take until the first week it would take till week 1 before Jahmyr Gibbs has to really report before he starts to lose money. I don't think Brad's going to let it hang out that long. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I've kind of said that to HB Link. Looks like a new name. Welcome in. I always wanted them to get Bijan Robinson's deal done, and then I thought about it again, and I'm like, well, if they do that, then Gibbs is just going to be bigger. It's not going to be less. Gibbs is a better running back. I don't care what ESPN says. I don't care what PFF says. I don't care what anybody else says. Gibbs is a better back than Bijan Robinson. It does not matter that Bijan went, earlier than Gibbs in the draft, because it just doesn't matter. None of that matters. The Lions could have taken Bijan at 6, right? They decided to trade back, take 12, and take Jahmyr at 12. I think that at the end of the day, that's what I agree with too, J Mommy, that they're both hoping that the other signs first so that the other can ask for more. Look, these two agents are definitely in cahoots with each other. Of course they are. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? They planned this from the beginning. The other part of this that was interesting, though, is that they said that Jahmyr Gibbs passed the conditioning test. I'm surprised he even did that if he was going to hold in. But I think that he probably had to. But I think that speaks to more of him wanting to play than not. I really don't have much else. I think that's it for today. Day 3. Look, we got a couple of players down. Ali McNeil, Jimmy Rolder. I think, unless there's anything else that has come out, which there shouldn't really have been. Let's just check one more time. Okay. So what Dave Burkett reported said that both McNeil and Derek Barnes walked slowly to the sideline after the run play. It was a run play, and there was a pileup. There was a pileup that Ali McNeil emerged from, and that is when the neck injury happened. So we'll see where that develops. I'm still thinking that he's going to be fine. Rolder had the leg injury. He did return to the field, and the Lions said that both were being evaluated for injuries. I'm sorry, neither McNeil or Rolder returned to the field, and both were being evaluated for injuries. That's the most recent update. The next update will be tomorrow, I believe. And I did lie. I still wanted to get into. We got to hear from Jack. Got to hear from Jack.
No, yeah, well,
You get this close to pads coming on, do you get like a nervous tick or something? You know what I mean? Super excited for Monday, whatever that is.
yeah, well, I mean, whenever it comes, it comes. It definitely makes it a little bit easier for me specifically.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm excited. We just have a great group of guys this year, and I'm really excited to just get into the thick of it, start callousing our bodies. The process has already started, but just get ready for week one and just be the most conditioned team. In my opinion, that's what I think it takes. The most conditioned team in the NFL.
That starts with the pads, really. I mean, I know
Yeah, I
it's
feel
now,
like
but
no. I mean, right now you're definitely getting in football shape right now. I mean, for me, it's like it's hard to practice football in the off season because it's explosive play after explosive play. You can sprint, straight line? I'm not that smart. Just straight line.
Yeah.
Is that, vertically?
Yeah.
You can sprint vertically, but then you get out here. A lot of stuff's lateral, then vertical, then lateral, then you can't really practice it. So this little acclimation period is good to just get the body flowing again, get going, get the mind going, get back to camp, start feeling out, got different guys. Like, I know this guy's going to do this versus this, stuff like that. So
Dan said yesterday that the thing that he needs to see for you guys to to feel comfortable going in the regular season
Yeah.
is to know you can stop the run, know you can run the ball, situational stuff too.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, I
Stop run part?
I hang my hat on the run game, so I mean, hopefully there's no issue there, and there's no excuses to like. That's like something obviously we're not going to go for this year. It's just get your job done, and if you don't do it, you don't do it, and it's you can see it on the tape. It's blatant. It doesn't matter if you're the top guy or the bottom guy on the roster. We need you to do your job. So, and everyone will be held accountable, and I feel like that also starts with me. I can continue to improve on that. So.
Jack, how hard is it
Yeah.
specifically to
My bad.
get yourself back from laying the lumber with no pads on? And
Yeah.
You got someone lined up and you want to take a run.
Yeah, right now I'm just really trying to continue to craft my punch outs. So I think this is a good time to work on that because obviously in a live game it takes a special talent to be able to punch the ball and secure a tackle. It's very impressive. I've seen it maybe one time, but it's just I can get into all that later. But it's just like the angle of where the back's at, where's the sideline out, where's a teammate at, like how protected am I. So right now I'm just trying to work on punching the ball, and I haven't got one yet, so I need to be better, don't I?
It's interesting. Was that big game?
You said what?
What was the one time
I think, the one time I saw it, it was that Fred Warner Vikings play on the goal line. He came, punched, he squared the guy up. He got the ball out, but I think he would have, if he missed and didn't get the ball, I think he would have tackled him. So.
I was just going to say, was that a big point of emphasis for you this
A point of
offseason?
emphasis?
Create more turnovers, punching the ball?
I don't know. For me, I just feel like that's something that like a lot of people talk about, but if you apply it, I feel like it's there. But if sometimes people just kind of overlook it and it's not there. And for me, I mean, turnovers win games in the NFL. So for me, that's what I want to do, and just help in any way I can. I just want to be as productive as I can possibly be.
Come close to any punch outs out there?
Close? I don't know.
How different does this defense feel to you compared to last year at this time? Personnel,
For me,
Calvin, all of it.
nah, for me, I feel like obviously Shep's still the same. And it starts with Dan. Like the team, it starts with the team, and the team feels identical. Everyone's out there hungry, ready to work. There's all this hoorah about last year. It's a new year. No one's thinking about last year. And every single year you got to come into it with a mindset. And if you don't come into it with a mindset, it's going to be a long year. So I'm looking just for guys, and including myself, to push it to the maximum and just lay it all on the line every single week. And no matter what, and you saw it, no matter who gets hurt, whoever gets put in there is going to play at a high level. So
I love it, man. Jack is always so funny. Is he not? I mean, he's so candid, yet he's so funny. And, where he says, how do you run? You run vertically? Yeah, running I'm not that smart. He's just hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. I love the fact that he also calls himself out. When he says that things need to be worked on, and then he says, I need to do it too. And I think that's what stands up the most in a locker room. When you have a leader that is, one, demanding the best out of you, because he is, in my opinion, the best linebacker in the game right now. but he's demanding the best out of everybody else. And so that means he needs to demand the best out of himself too. So great stuff there. Let's get into shots heard around the world right now. Marvin Harrison Jr. looks terrible. He looks absolutely terrible. Wow, dude. That ball was out front. Can't. Yeah, that ball's thrown way too far left. Can't miss those. You know, this all started last year. But you remember what I was talking about? That was that pass play the other day that I was telling you guys about. And that, well, maybe that wasn't the exact one, but it was a very similar practice where Kyler Murray was way overthrowing Harrison, like way over his head. But Harrison also couldn't catch anything, and it looks like it hasn't changed. Let's just hope he gets the cobwebs out, because it's not looking good. All right, we're going to cruise past this one. Let's get who'd we miss? Hutchinson, we already did that. St. Brown, we did that. Barnes. I think we missed Barnes the other day. Miller, Yasin. Let's listen to Yasin.
Got a chance to start 6 games last year. Played really well for those 6 starts. A little different this year, coming to a season with an opportunity to play a much bigger role than that, even it seems. Just how excited are you for that opportunity to kind of win that number 2 spot and play a huge role in this defense?
Just looking forward to competing with these guys, man. Coming out every day, competing against the offense, competing with the guys in our room. We're all fighting for, opportunities to play and to make this team. So I'm just looking forward to whatever opportunity is there, just looking forward to taking advantage of it.
Dan Campbell was saying as well, he addressed all about, the Terrion situation as a team. What did you take from that, and just, anything you'd like to share from that at all?
TA, I mean, just from what I know of TA, man, just a really good dude, a young guy that I had a lot of, love and respect for. He's going through a hard time right now. I don't know any specifics or anything like that, but, definitely gonna miss him. Definitely gonna miss him.
What have you noticed maybe different, re-energized of Shep heading into year 2 in that position?
Definitely, just his that was last year was his first year being a coordinator, so him coming into year 2, more experience, definitely more energy. He had energy last year though, but just coming out, just really growing and coming to himself as a coordinator in this league.
What was your big focus this offseason? Where did you want to maybe? You've been doing this obviously a long time, but where was an area that you maybe saw this is something I want to focus on?
Just wanted to get more comfortable with the defense. Being this is like the second year in the system, so just become more comfortable in the defense. Not just playing corner, but like the corner position, understanding the safety positions, understanding who's doing what, and like the big picture of the defense, schematically. Just having growing and becoming more comfortable there.
Is that film study or what goes into it?
A lot of film study, a lot of talking with the coaches, talking with even the players, talking to the linebackers, asking them their jobs and responsibilities, certain calls, certain coverages. And just growing, trying to grow as a football player, even in year 8, just trying to grow and get better.
Were there any particular games from last season that were like helpful as you were going through?
Each game, let's say like if we played Steelers or something, I was talking to Avante about his responsibilities in that game, or if we were playing the Eagles, I'm talking to D. Barnes and Jack Campbell about their responsibilities in those games. Just call by call, just understand their responsibilities, where they're going to be at on each play, and just learning from those guys.
Yeah, walking up the ticket, I think we got a little glimpse of what Nick Whiteside could do last year. He made a couple of plays out there today. Just what do you think you guys have again?
He's a good player, man. He comes out, he's consistent, come out, compete every day. He's a good player, and he can continue to get better, continue to grow.
A lot of moving parts in the secondary on the back end too. How important is this time of year to get that chemistry with the safeties as they're kind of working things out there?
Extremely important, on the field, also in the classroom. Talking to different guys, asking guys how they see certain things, their perspective on certain calls and certain routes and certain route combinations. Understanding how they're going to play certain things, and then that, helps me to play faster, helps, the corner to play faster. Whenever you know where safety is and the corner, and the safety knows where the corner is and where he's going to be, we all can play faster and, play as one.
How important is it to have a couple veterans back there?
It's really nice. It's really nice. It's been refreshing playing with those guys. All of those guys, man, they're all vets. They're all, experienced, and then they're all, great communicators. I really like playing with, all those safeties back there.
Curious, you've been in 2 camps with him now, or starting a second camp with Nick Whiteside. What have you grown to like about his game?
Competitive, consistent. He comes out, works every day. He continues to get better every day, so he's a good player.
Rock, how surprised were you guys by what went on with Terry Allen this summer, and how do you collectively, just as a group, move past it?
Like I said.
Well, I guess we just lost whatever that was. Everything just kind of stopped working. I'm not sure why. So I guess that's my cue to go. I was going to go around the league real quick. Had a couple of things to share. Deebo Samuel going back to San Francisco. What else was happening? Now I forgot. Cowboys looking to trade for a big name. That's big rumor right now that they're looking to bring in some really big names. And Tucker Kraft, he's going to practice. He's not worried about practicing without a contract extension. So it sounds like him and Sam Laporta had a conversation. I don't know. Maybe not. Hey, everything just bounced back. That was weird. Everything just bounced back. Weird shit going on over here, man. Ever since that lightning hit the house the other day. With all the power outages and then the house gets hit, I mean, what else needs to happen, right? What else needs to happen? Now let me see if I go back and find my footage here. I don't know if I believe this at all, but according to... Yeah, I'm not even going to say it. It's all bullshit. It's all rage bait. TJ Watt, he's going to be taking over for Tony Romo this year as the lead analyst. Tony Romo had a drunk driving arrest and apparently is now on leave from CBS Sports. This happened 1 week after his drunk driving arrest. And so now J.J. Watt is going to replace Romo as a lead NFL analyst. That's going to be interesting. Look, I like J.J. Watt. I do. And I just don't know what he's going to be like as a full-time, broadcaster. But it can't be any worse than Tony Romo. I'll tell you that much. All right, I'm out of here. Kind of out of time, out of topics. We'll see you guys throughout the weekend. And we'll see you all out there on Sunday. If you're going, make sure you email me, mailbag@rockdown.com. Don't forget to sign up. Get your free 30-day at DetroitFootballJournal.com. Also, don't forget to get into the Madden Challenge. Madden 27 giveaway every single week. Just follow all the posts that happen on the Twitters, the YouTubes, and follow what you need to do to get entered. There's been some people participating, so thank you. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and do all the good things, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.